Alright, this is a review and test of the Aokoda 150 watt Lipo Discharger. I've got a fresh battery here. I just finished charging, pulled right off my calibrated charger. It's a 1300 milliamp 4-cell. This battery checker tends to read a little high, usually about 0.01, 0.02 volts. So we are right at 4.2 on my calibrated battery charger. We'll go ahead and plug this in, get this test started. Alright, turn on our watt meter. Alright, make sure everything's in view. Alright, that should do it. Got our timer here. And we'll get this started. Start the time and the discharge at the same time. Alright, so far we're up to 26, 28, 30 watts. It's bumping up pretty quick. Watching the voltages drop on our balancer for the Aokoda balancer. We're up to 62 watts. Pulling 3.7 amps, 16.3 volts. And we'll let that run, see how long it takes. Alright, this is where I usually get to. I've had it for a couple of weeks. And that second cell always seems to struggle to balance. And all the balancing actually, you have a discharge through the main lead. But all the balancing, I believe, takes place in the balancer itself, the checker balancer itself. So it's going to be a low balance current or a low balance power through that, since this is just a small unit and can't dissipate much heat. So right now it's gone. You can see it's not pulling any power from the battery off the main discharge through the watt meter, so it's not using the bulbs anymore. Now it's balancing just through the checker itself, the balancer itself. And so this can take hours. In fact, I've never waited long enough for it to completely stop on its own. It's been hours. I'd say 3 or 4 hours. I've watched it before, and it balances like a small balancer. And there it goes. There's another light on the bulb, but it usually gets stuck on this second cell being, in the high 80s there, 3.8 something. But when I pull it off the checker, off this discharger, and I put it on a regular voltmeter, it usually looks pretty balanced, a little bit above the 3.8 that I have it set for. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this at this point, and it's been about 20 minutes. We'll stop that. We'll stop the discharge, and we'll check it on the checker here real quick. And as you can see, let this level out. It's not perfectly balanced. I didn't give it long enough, but it's pretty close. It's a little high. I've been toying with the idea of setting the final voltage a little bit lower so I get closer to 3.8. But 3.8, 3.85, you know, that's a good range. It's a little out of balance, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything. I picked it up for $14 from Aloft Hobbies. And they have a really good deal. I think they're out of stock right now, but I'm sure they're going to stock it again. For the most part, I'm happy with it for $14. I haven't been able to get it to go to the 150 watt mark by any means. It usually sits right around that 60 when it first starts, and then slowly drops from there. But it's definitely, as far as I can tell, not a 150 watt discharger. I do remember doing it with a 6-cell battery, and I saw no change, and I saw no change with a 3-cell either. So it does a good job of discharging. Discharges fairly quick. The ISDT, I think it's an 85 watt discharger. In the long run, depending on how much money you want to spend, would do this a little bit faster. But for the money, $14. I do like to plug in a balance board, and I can discharge up to 6, and if I wanted to I could daisy chain balance boards and discharge more, but I've discharged 6 at a time and it handles that just fine. Doesn't take long, much easier than trying to discharge off your own battery charger, which those take forever. So for $14, yeah, it's probably worth it. You know, when I got it I did expect the 150 watt, but to be honest with you, 150 watt going through this little balancer checker here, that's quite a bit to try and discharge. You'd have to have a higher current ability, higher power ability through the balance leads there, and I just don't think it's capable of it. It does get warm, but not extremely warm to the touch. You can pick it up and stuff, it won't burn you, but it does get warm. So I just don't think the circuitry in there really is built for 150 watts. I think they just call it 150 because each bulb is rated for 50 watts at 24 volts. And again, you're only giving it, you know, here 16 volts. So you're really going to get, you know, that much power out of a 50 watt bulb if you're not giving it full voltage. So again, there lies the problem with labeling it 150 watt when it's only doing 60 watt on 4-cell, and I don't think it's doing any much more than that on 6-cell either. You can do the math on that, and it's probably not that close. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video on a 6-cell battery, but the only 6-cell I have is 10,000 milliamps, and so that'd be a long time to run a test. So anyways, tell me what you think down in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching.